there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits. Coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California.
It smells of cheese in here. I don't know why.
It's because of your big bites.
Gouda.
You're the one, I keep saying, Emma, you got to clean your room. The room is her couch, and it is a mess. It's all the things you've
It's not a mess. It's the sexy girl couch.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. And who's sitting on it? Miss Emma.
Oh, good-o.
Oh, continue.
Hey, and who do we have in the house tonight,
Who's
Craig?
in the house?
Hey there out there.
Who are you? Who the fuck is this?
It's the
Tonight?
mystery man.
The mystery. The Homme Mystère.
Oh my! It's already a shit show, isn't it?
Yeah, you
Running the board, we have Liza.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Liza.
And everyone's, I can't call her exotic, but she does come from a foreign land, and her name is Miss Emma.
Oh, hello, darling. I do come from a foreign land, and that land is called England. I'm a Britisher.
You're a Brum.
Yeah, no, actually, because you were quite tickled with that, weren't you? Because lovely Ben came down today, and Ben's from London, and we were talking about my
They call him
hometown.
Big Ben.
Yes, they do call him Big Ben. But we were talking about my dear old hometown, Birmingham, and people from Birmingham are called Brummies, and Birmingham itself is called Brum. And I'm not sure about the origins. I mean, I'm sure it's got something to do with the automobile industry, because that's really where it was centred, was in Birmingham. But you know, it's just one of those things. If anybody knows why people from Birmingham are called Brummies, or Birmingham's called Brum, or anybody from Liverpool is a Scouser, and I scouse.
Oh, what do Brums do to Scousers?
Oh, nothing. We get on like a house on
You have
fire.
a wee bit of tea.
Yes, we have a nice sit down, a bit of tea and some crumbly cake. But, you know, these things go back hundreds of years, these terms.
Tea?
Well, tea goes back a long time. You Americans know nothing about tea. We drink it. You just get angry and throw it into the harbour and have a tantrum.
And on that note, I have Sugar Daddy Mr. Long next to me, Craig.
You already did, Craig. It's him.
Did I? Oh, wait, on Bagel?
Hey team.
Wow.
It's Bagel.
It's a bagel.
Yes. Hello.
There you go.
And Brummies should not be confused with bromfiets, which is Dutch for moped, like the one right next to me.
Oh, there you go.
Bromfeets.
Well, do you know what they call people from Santa Cruz?
Stoners?
Slugs.
Well, yeah, of course, banana slugs, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you sing the banana slug song?
Go, 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 fight, slugs. Go.
Go slugs.
Just don't eat them.
No,
No,
definitely not.
you know the Hispanic people call it the poor man's peach.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Don't-
No, I mean, this is
think
completely on motorcycle related. I remember a story on the news, tragic story, a couple of years ago, of a young man who got drunk and had a bet with his friends and ate a slug. And he died a horrible, painful death
Ooh.
about 18 months
Got a
later.
brain worm,
Wait.
brain
Yeah.
protozoa.
Oh, he died from it.
18 months?
18 months.
Well, you know what, Emma? That's a fabulous story, but we've had enough death talk. We're going to not talk about any death
actually,
this episode. This is just going to be fun and light.
If you want to lick a frog, that's cool.
No.
But, you know, as far as slug death, not this week, son.
I would like to actually put this to bed because it was a tough episode. And even last week, talking about killing bikes was a tough episode. But I want to address something which troubled me. And a reader, a listener, forgive me, wrote in and said, you know, Liza was being a little bit flippant about it. And I don't think that was entirely fair. Death is such an odd subject. It's such an almost a surreal subject. We all deal with it in very, very different ways. Liza's actually far more equipped to deal with it than me. Everyone heard how upset and how much pain I was in from something I experienced 45 years ago. And we all deal with it differently. And I think it's as tough on Liza losing friends as it is for me. She just shows it differently.
I appreciate that, Emma.
But it's true. Once you introduce the human element into anything, we are all very different. We process information differently. We react to information differently. And there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer to it. I've seen people burst into hysterical laughter at a friend's funeral, and it's just their coping mechanism. It's just it's almost hysterical laughter, but it's just the way they cope with this deeply traumatic event. So, it's like, cut us some slack, please.
Well, and I'm actually going to roll that in, and by your advice, I will say, hey, I apologize to anyone who was insulted. This person, actually, it wasn't an email; it was a review on iTunes. So once again, I'm going to ask people if they can go and leave reviews for us. I didn't think that this person was an a-hole in any way. I thought it was their honest opinion. So this isn't, somebody's just going
it's a valid, opinion. It's a valid opinion, but when you look a little before it, it's just. But your way of coping was very, very different from mine, and I think you're actually far better equipped.
Well, and in my
it.
defense, talking about death is a very hard, heavy subject, and that's not what we're really known for. We like to have fun. So yeah, I did throw in a game to lighten it up and keep it fun and keep it from getting too dark and depressing in here. So apologies if somebody interpreted that as me being insensitive.
And I'll say I'm stoked people wrote in. So thanks for writing in and being like, here's what I thought about the show, because it was heavy for all of us, and I appreciate because Liza shared the emails with everybody, and we chatted about it, and they were all very respectful and thoughtful. Yeah. And the show was just that. It was thought provoking, and it's difficult. Yeah. But I was stoked people chimed in and said, hey, here's my 2 cents.
The thing that I find the most upsetting is when Liza asked me to clean my room. I hate that. I'm very upset by behavior like that.
By your room, I mean the cracks in the couch. With
yes, basically.
Crumbs.
Moving on.
Something motorcycle-y.
I wanted to talk about today in the garage.
Well, what a peculiar day weather-wise it was, because it was very cold and overcast and damp this morning. What's that jazz song that's She Hates California because it's cold and it's damp? Oh, that's why the lady is a tramp. And that was true.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah. And that was
I thought
true.
California likes to party.
That was true this morning. Very cold, very overcast, very damp. But I tell you what, turned into a glorious afternoon, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And people came out in droves. In fact, we had some new people show up today.
Mathieu.
And Lucas and Anthony.
Antoine.
And I wanted to give them a shout out. So this is very interesting. And I wanted Craig to weigh in a bit because you came later, so you weren't really here to give your advice. But we had Lucas showed up, brand new rider, first bike, and he got a CBR 250 that he came in that had been non-opt sitting for a while. So he wanted to help doing some regular maintenance just to make sure it's safe. And Ellie helped him clean and lubricate his chain and get it adjusted. And then I think he went out to buy some oil. He wants to oil change, all the things.
And actually, I inspected the oil in the window. And I said, look, Lucas, you bought the oil, which is great. Use it next time. Because this oil, a lot of viscosity left. It was a great color.
Oh, good.
I think they just changed the oil probably before they took it off the road.
Okay.
And you know what?
And that was somebody who I thought, doing everything right. And then we had another young guy come by, and that's Anthony, and he's just taking the class now. And he was looking to buy a bike. And here's the funny thing. He's like, so, yeah, I've been, there's a bike I'm looking to buy off of Craigslist or whatever. And I'm wondering if you can help me because I've never bought a bike before. And I'm like, well, tell me about it. He said, well, it's, I think an 08 or 09 FC 650. 40, 6,000 miles on it. The owner says it's really clean, ready to go, well maintained. I'm like, okay, well, I would suggest go and test ride it. And if it's not too far, see if you can test ride it here to the garage.
Right.
And we can take a look at it. And then he talks to the person who's selling it, said, well, they said that they'll just bring it here. I said, well, that's even better. Emma will be here soon. We can all take a look at it. I said, and Emma can help you haggle the price down. Yeah, right?
and look inside that airbox.
Well,
the gouger.
well, here's the funny thing. And so I'm like, so how'd you find out about the garage? And he goes, well, the person I'm buying the bike from sent me here. I'm like, who are you buying the bike from? Somebody named Scotty. I was like, wait, that's our Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, Emma can't negotiate.
Well, not only
Scotty's
that,
one of ours.
not only that, that bike was so clean.
Yeah.
2008 FC6.
And
it
you know-
was clean.
Yeah, and when Scotty first bought that bike, she brought it over to my place and said, hey, this is going to be my commute bike. I've got a long commute. Can you do a complete service on it? I mean, complete. So I did everything. I did valve clearances, cam chain, blah, 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 2 new tires, everything. And it's like a couple of grand. I mean, she spent buku bucks on this.
Did you have to do the cam chain, tensioner,
so.
all that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But flawless commute bike for like 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Because she brought it in very, very soon after I opened the shop. So I know it's been a couple of years. And never missed a beat. So it served its purpose well. Now she's moving on to other things.
Yeah, so it's funny. I'm like, well, if Scotty, it's that the price that Scotty's asking is a very fair price.
Yes.
And if Scotty says everything's good, everything's good. And then he's
Totally.
like, since I don't really have my license yet, I haven't really ridden much. Can somebody do a test ride? I'm like, yeah, Scotty can. Like, there's nothing we can do or say that Scotty
Well,
can't. Scotty's one of ours.
In the end, I placated Antoni.
But I just thought it was funny how that turned around.
And I took it for a spin around the block, and it rides just as well as I remember.
But here's where I kind of wanted Craig and Jim, I kind of roped you in. I was trying to get everyone get their opinion. I said, here's the thing. This bike is a good bike. But I would not recommend this as a first bike. Just bottom line. And I'm pointing at Lucas, who showed up on the CBR 250. I said, get anything small. It's your 6-month bike, just for 6 months. While your brain is learning how to retrain itself as a rider, it's a different mindset than being a driver. And a smaller bike will be smaller mistakes. A bigger bike will be bigger mistakes. But I was kind of impressed with this kid. Emma, weren't you? He seemed to be like not so gung-ho to just get out there and get a fast bike. He just wanted something to commute on. And he seemed to be really taking in everybody's advice and opinions and really contemplating everything.
You could tell he was a very, very smart young man.
Yeah.
And very respectful. Just very much enjoying being part of the community. And I said to him, you know, one of the great joys of motorcycling, aside from riding bikes themselves, of course, is this lovely community you become part of. And he really seemed to be enjoying that. So I predict he has a long, happy career with motorbikes ahead of him.
So then I pulled a dick move.
Where'd you put it?
Because
I was
that's
waiting for
what
that.
you do.
And then I said, well, or I have a bike for sale. I have a KLR 650 for sale. You won't get in trouble on that. But it's not fun. I was like, full disclosure.
He's like, nope.
It's a tractor, but it will get you there every day.
He's like, no, I'll wait for the dad bod.
No, he sat on it and he looked really comfortable on it. He liked the riding position. It was really interesting and actually really refreshing to get somebody who sat there and just absorbed everything everybody had to say and listened intently and sat on all these bikes and had him, put his feet up and see how it felt. And I said, here's the thing, KLR 650, you won't get in trouble. It's the exact same price, right? But it's not going to be fun. The FC6 is going to be a fun bike. It is exciting. It could be a bike you'd have for many years, but it's a much bigger risk getting on it. I advise if you choose that bike to take an advanced rider class and to give yourself better odds. But I think that this kid has a good mind for this because he really took it all in. I don't know. What do you think, Craig? Do you think taking the advanced rider class right away speeds up the learning curve and lessens the risk your first 6 months on the road?
It's usually best to practice just a little bit. We recommend in the schools 6 weeks, 8 weeks of practice on whatever bike, because then it soaks in. We do have students that
Right.
take it the next weekend, but they ride a lot. But generally speaking, you want to practice a little bit.
Because you need to understand what you're applying and why.
That's right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind also, even there, you forget how basic it is when you're learning how to ride, is muscle memory, right? We all have the muscle memory of shifting clutches and all the shit, right? We don't think about it anymore. We just do it. But when you're a new rider, like at least for the first 6
you
months,
think about everything.
well, and you're really just training muscle memory. That to me, that's what makes sense. And the other thing about the bigger bike, the FC6, because I had one great bike, right? You forget also is how heavy motorcycles can be at a gas pump. So I could see like it's a cool bike, but he'll drop it,
Yeah.
right? Because something will happen, he'll drop it somewhere. But I think taking some sort of instruction at some point. But it's a lot of bike, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's funny because when you change your perspective to like in the Harley world, start with a Sportster. It's the learner bike. It's like, wow, it is interesting, the whole perspective. But I said, if you find a smaller bike, it's your 6 month bike. And the upside is there's always new riders who will buy it. So the value stays up.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see what he decides. But I have confidence
I
in
think
him that he will do the right thing.
We had a lovely little chat before he left. He specifically wanted to come and thank me for all my advice. And we had a lovely little chat. And I think he's probably going to buy it. He's absolutely in love with the styling of that bike.
That 2008 FC6, the color, the styling, it's beautiful. And Japanese fuel injection. I mean, it runs those things. That's great for this area too. 600cc motor for the mountains. And
But
like we were talking earlier, that thing will do 110 miles an hour all day.
Absolutely. And the styling, I think, is incredible on those 2008s. Absolutely. It's very bizarre styling.
Well, and you could look at the tires. You could tell Scotty got that thing over pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Scotty,
you can tell that thing can
she knows
handle.
how to ride.
Well, and as I mentioned, I have a KLR for sale if anyone is interested. This was another Mototown special.
It was a snip from Mototown. So let me tell you about this bike, because I'll give everyone the pitch.
Emma thinks she's trying to talk me into selling my other KLR.
Well, no, I think she should.
Agree. I think she should too.
This KLR was bought brand new by the guy who traded it in at my shop, and he bought it specifically to ride down to Central America on. And I can't remember whether he did a trip to Bolivia or Patagonia, but it was down that neck of the woods. And he just rode it down there, did his trip, rode it back, done. And so this thing it's sub how many thousand miles?
It's about to hit 7,000.
So it's got no miles on it.
6,900.
And it's in beautiful condition. I personally think it's a far better bike than your red one.
And
I like my red one.
I know you do.
I think it looks a little better because it looks a little kind of tougher. Your red one looks like a baby boomer Corvette color burgundy.
It looks soft. It looks too soft.
Okay,
Liza.
boomer.
You know that boomer burgundy Corvette you see?
Yeah,
driving around?
I know.
That's what the KLR. I'm sorry, Liza. It's been a hard day for you, hasn't it?
No, it's good. No, I like the red one because it's all kitted out with all the things I want.
But we'll help you put the things on.
No.
Yeah, some
I don't-
PVC highway pegs.
The other one only has like 12,000 miles.
So
It's not that big of a difference.
So here's so knowing something of a small amount of the history and using your best judgment and imagination, because it doesn't have to be truthful. I'd really like our listeners to write an ad for Liza's KLR 650.
Yeah, I need to list it.
Yeah, we need to list it. So, if you want to bring in its history in a previous life of helping to slay dragons,
I'll probably list it tonight. But if anyone is interested in a very low mileage 2011 Gen 2
yes,
KLR,
it's blue and
ready
silver.
to go, ready for
It's a lovely
adventure.
color. Look is good.
It's blue and silver, lovely metallic blue and silver. And Liza did the master stroke, because I felt the 2011s were a little under-graphicked. And you got the graphic kit, which has got a lot of lime green in it. It looks brilliant. It really is a very handsome bike. And the thing I like the most about it, I don't like your black rims on the red one.
I love the black rims.
No, I like the polished aluminium ones.
I love the black rims.
I like
of
the
black-
aluminium ones.
It's like black socks with black shoes. You know what I mean, Craig. You know what I mean.
He's got black
I'm not
socks
getting
with white
involved.
shoes.
I'm not getting involved with this one.
But you know what? Even though it's not a new to me bike, but it's new. It came back, so the tent is getting full. Just like Bagel's garage is getting fuller, because guess what? It's game time. Bagel has a game for us.
Ooh.
I do.
What are we going to play, Bagel?
This game is what did Bagel bring home now?
Okay, if you call last time, it was what's
Herpes?
in Bagel's underpants, but this one is, so it must be bigger than what fits in his underpants.
Is it edible?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely bigger.
Bigger
Than
than
not
what is-
edible. Okay. So how this is going to work? I am going to throw out a couple bits of information. I want you to first guess the manufacturer,
Oh,
and then after that, guess the model. Okay.
Are we asking yes or no questions? How is this working?
I'm just going to have you throw out guesses. I'm going to give you some information to start with, and
Okay.
then Liza will have you pick people to go around the room.
We want
And see-
information.
Yes.
We want
So-
information.
I just want to know what part of Italy was it made in?
Nothing from Italy.
Oh,
actually.
see, I got a
Yeah.
clue. I got a clue.
Okay. So the first toy, that it has two wheels.
Okay.
It is orange with a silver frame and has some black trim. And it is from a company that does not manufacture scooters. They manufacture motorcycles.
Royal Enfield.
That is incorrect. Next.
Oh.
Who wants to guess the manufacturer?
Peugeot.
No, we've got to go around the room. Who's next?
Oh, that would be me. So
Emma.
it has a silver frame.
Yes.
It has orange bodywork
Yes. And some black trim too.
and some black trim. Does it have a great deal of bodywork or a small amount of bodywork?
I'd say a small amount.
It has a small amount of bodywork.
Yep,
And it's a motorcycle manufacturer.
it is.
Is it Spanish?
It is not.
Oh dear.
Okay, next.
Is it European?
It is.
Ooh. Do
Do you have a guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who the
and throw a
manufacturer
guess out.
is?
You already said that one. I know. I was gonna say you didn't say anything from Italy, but in my head I wanted to say Moto Marini, but I know
No,
that's
no.
not true.
That's
If there's no
still
Italy,
Italian.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Jim?
Vespa.
No, it's not from Italy.
Just
No
get that out of the way.
Italy.
I don't give a fuck. I don't know anything about scooters. So I'm
We'll have
saying
Vespas
Vespa.
and Bajages.
It was either
This
that
is-
or Honda
This
Elite.
is from.
I don't know.
This is a company that does not manufacture scooters. So it is not a scooter.
So some KTM.
No, but you're getting closer.
He made a face. He made a face. Go Husqvarna. Go Husqvarna. Emma. Go Husqvarna.
No, I don't think it's a Husqvarna.
I do. I think it's a Husqvarna moped. I can tell by the look on his face. He can't keep a secret. Look at him. Look at him. He's about to burst at the seams.
Is it Swedish?
Yes,
It is a Husqvarna.
it is.
Look at him.
Now, can you guess what model it is? I'll give you a hint. It has 2 letters and a number.
Is it a sewing machine?
No, it's not.
On wheels. Is cheating allowed?
You can cheat,
Okay.
but you could also try to guess what the first letter is.
L.
S.
Not L or S.
H.
Nope.
All right. We're just going down the alphabet
A.
here. Hold on. I want to ask a question. Is it
Okay.
a moped?
It is not a moped.
Ooh.
Is it a scooter?
It is not a scooter. Like I said, this company does not manufacture scooters.
Great.
is it a bicycle?
No, it's not a bicycle.
What?
Is it a chainsaw?
It said it had two
No.
wheels. Oh,
It's not a
wheels.
chainsaw, but
Scooter.
you're not too far off.
is it a kick scooter?
No, it's not a kick scooter, but
Are they currently
I'll
manufactured?
give you another hint. It's electric.
Oh.
Boogie, woogie, 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 woogie.
So this isn't vintage?
Is it a lawnmower?
No, it is not vintage, and it is not a lawnmower. Any
Is
other
it a
guesses?
Personal massager.
No.
Oh, I see what it is. Is it? Oh wait, you said orange. Is it the Husqvarna Vector?
No, it's not that. I'm not sure what that is, but it's not a Vector.
Oh! Is it an EO1?
No, it's not.
Oh, come on! All right,
It's a Bagel.
we don't know what it is. If it's a new electric.
Is this a vehicle?
No, it's not.
Oh,
God, what a
Two wheels with no vehicle.
what a
Shall I
wanker!
reveal it?
Yes.
Well, hold on. What? Yeah, what is
It's
it?
a pressure washer
Oh, you.
Oh, wow.
made by Husqvarna.
Wow.
Bagel, you got us.
I couldn't resist because I needed a pressure washer anyway, and I figured what better brand to get than a motorcycle manufacturer like Husqvarna. So now I can say I own a Husky.
So it's an electric power washer.
What an absolute tosser.
So you got to pull out all the
Stops.
the emissions, and you got to remap the fuel injection.
Well,
and I got to rewire it. Yeah.
hey, Bagel, we can still save this. Let's go back to what's in Bagel's underpants. I need you to put the wand in your underpants and pull the trigger.
Well, hold on a second, because this is a two-part game.
Oh God!
Because
oh God!
this is not the only toy that I brought home
Okay.
this week. I brought home another toy.
Oh.
It is
Is it a plug?
no, it is not a plug.
Can Emma control it
But
remotely?
But it is very long. It is very long.
Oh.
Is it very strong as well and long?
It's reasonably strong. It's adequately strong. Let's say.
Okay, well, very good.
How many wheels does it have?
It has two wheels.
Oh God! Here we go again.
Yep.
All right, come on out with it, Bagel, because I would like to remind you, as I have reminded Liza in the past, this is indeed a motorcycle podcast. And
Okay,
the reason
then I
we
will-
are
I will-
so successful is we eventually get back to motorcycle
Unless it's the Oscar
content.
Mayer Wienermobile,
Oh,
God.
because that's pretty boss.
No, it's not the Wienermobile.
Okay,
But it is almost that long.
Spillo the Beanzo.
Okay. Well, first, guess the manufacturer.
Toyota.
Vespa.
No.
So is it a toy? Is it a
No,
toy?
it is not a toy.
It's a vehicle.
Okay, hold on.
To some people, it might be a toy, but
Is it
but
a home
it is
appliance?
a vehicle.
You ride
This is a
it.
vehicle. That is
Hitachi.
a road-going vehicle.
Oh, road
How
going
about
vehicle.
Oh, Daihatsu.
Not Daihatsu. It has two wheels.
Is it a scooter?
It is a scooter.
Oh, good.
Is it an adult size scooter?
It is.
Oh,
It is a road legal scooter, as a matter of
is
fact.
it a gas powered scooter?
It is.
Can you get it for less than $2,500 on Bing Bang?
I don't know about on Bing Bang, but I got it for less than that on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
What's the year of manufacture?
It is 2006.
All right.
Is it made in the land of the rising sun?
It was made in the land of the rising sun.
Oh. You finally
Can you
got
guess
an
the
elite.
manufacturer?
You've come to the
Perked
dark
up.
side.
You are incorrect.
Oh, you got 2006. Didn't get a Morpheus or something, did you?
I did.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Yes.
That is the porn stash of scooters right there. Wow.
Does that thing come with buoys and a captain's hat?
Ahoy, baby.
It should.
That's intense.
I love it. Yeah, you need those rubber bumpers on the side.
Yeah, it feels very, very Wave Runner like.
So I have a simple
Morpheus.
question.
It's got the great
Yes.
blue, too.
Why?
Well, I've kind of had a thing for these for a while,
Huh.
and I've looked for them from time to time, but they only sold these for 3 years in the U.S., so
Right.
you can't find them very often. And it just so happened that I was selling a van to a friend of mine this week, and we were going to meet in Grants Pass. And I was trying to figure out a way to get back from there because I was dropping off the van and didn't have a ride home. Well, I saw this Morphus for sale down there, and the price was right, and it only has 13,000 miles on it. And I went down to check it out and decided, well, this will be my ride home. So I went and bought it. And
dare I ask,
brilliant.
Bagel?
So-
it's an amazing looking thing.
Oh, the
It
blue.
actually looks in great
So it's-
condition.
It's like that FC6 blue from today.
It's like Yamaha picked up where the Honda Helix left off.
yes,
Where,
exactly.
Totally.
Yep. And it is in fairly good shape. It does have some scratches on the outside, but it's been stored inside most of the time from what it looks like.
Is it
the maintenance is-
amphibious?
It is not amphibious.
It looks like it should be.
Although it looks like
Paddle
it should
tow.
No, I think you should wrap it, like take it to the wrapper place and wrap it in white and ride around in your Star Wars outfit you got, that stormtrooper outfit you got, dude. It would look killer.
be. That thought did occur to me, actually.
Oh, yeah. It'd be brilliant.
So
Yep.
does this mean you lose your Vespa card? Are you still
No.
allowed in the club?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, this is just yet another scooter.
So, a ride back from Grants Pass to Venetian Blind, or wherever the
Yeah.
hell you live, is that's quite a good decent ride. That's 3 hours.
It's a little 2 hours.
2 hours.
it's
So you
about 130 miles or so.
did you explore the top speed?
Yes, I got it up to about 77 or so. I didn't want to push it too far because it's overdue for belt and rollers and all the other maintenances.
Yes.
But I figured, but it rode like a champ the whole way home. And,
Fantastic.
How many cc's is it?
250, aren't
It's
they?
a 250. Yep.
Oh, wow, that's a big butt for 250.
Oh, it's a big.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
You ever seen
Oh, yeah.
one of those
It
in the
is-
shop, Emma?
Funnily enough, they are super rare now. I know somebody who bought one new, which would be right around when yours rolled off the line.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
I remember the thing just being huge.
It's got a trunk and not a frunk.
Yes, it's got a front and a trunk.
trunk and a trunk. I don't know what you call the middle.
Well, I don't think there's a front, but there's storage under the seat
Under
and
the
then
seat
the
and-
trunk in the back.
The centunk. It's got a centunk
Yeah,
and a
centunk
trunk.
and a
The
trunk.
trunk.
Wow,
Yes.
well, congratulations, Bagel.
No, that's a great looking machine. Are you going to keep it?
I'm going to keep it for now. I'm going to try it out and see how I like it. I will say that the riding position takes some getting used to. My legs are not used to riding in a reclined position, and it was getting a little
Oh,
uncomfortable
right.
by the end of the trip.
Well,
but-
it's the hallmark of the Japanese scooters, and we're going to keep quiet about it now. We've had quite a large capacity Japanese scooter hanging around these parts lately. They are very, very feet forward,
Yeah.
and it puts an enormous amount of strain on your coccyx.
yeah.
And it really does take some getting used to. All I can suggest, Bagel, is don't put your feet flat. Put them on the bit that kind of goes upright a little bit.
Yep. I was doing that.
And then get the backrest, get that as forward as you can and kind of smash yourself into the backrest. And that's how you ride them. Because then you get support in the small of your back.
Emma, I would say drop your legs down on the side and just run alongside.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Or just sit backwards on it and view the world through a periscope. But no, that's the method. If you kind of mash yourself into the backrest and really kind of smash it into the small of your back, they are quite comfortable. But if you kind of ride them like you'd ride a normal bike or a scooter, as you find out, your buns get very, very upset.
Yeah, it feels like the rear portion of the seat needs to be scooped in a little bit more, just to have some room for the tailbone and sit bones to kind of have a little bit.
Well,
more
it
of an area
wasn't
to-
designed for you.
Or just do
Yes.
don't do any more squats and let
Yes.
your butt just flatten out.
Well, I think that's the problem. Is I need a little bit more cushion there.
Oh, I see. Well, congratulations, Bagel. You bought a thing.
You know how? You know what I can see that in? Kenny Roberts colors.
Unlike
Yes,
You know what I
yellow
can-
with the white and black checkerboards on it. Looked like $1 million bucks. Oh yeah.
it is Yamaha blue.
I can also see Bagel has a big ass garage.
I know.
Your
he keeps
garage
adding
keeps
to
getting
it.
bigger.
Oh, Bagel. How's the
Yes.
horse?
The horses are away for the summer. They've gone to their summer pasture.
Oh no.
Yes,
That's
but we
what
have
they.
goats next
That's what they
door.
tell you.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, they're going somewhere to frolic.
Okay. Very
But,
good.
we have goats who are escape artists who keep us busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
Just remember when someone tells you, "Oh, they went to live on a farm," that's not really what happened.
They went to the glue
Yeah,
factory.
no. Well, yeah. So congratulations, you bought a thing, unlike Jim, who crashed a thing.
Oh no, Jim.
Jim, you went off on
hello.
one of your adventures, and I have to say, I love how much you've like morphed into this new adventure guy, and you just love to go out on your own into the wilds.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't think I'm a new, I don't feel like I'm a new adventure guy anymore though.
You used to be I would go sit at the beach,
I
on
know
your
I did.
on your beach cruiser bike.
No, that bubble
Yeah.
got burst when Matt looked at me one night. We're in the woods. I was making cowboy coffee is what it was. Where you just boil the grinds in the water and you just pour it off the top and that's your coffee. And he goes, "Dude, you're like Jack fucking Palance." And I was not like impressed. I'm like, "Dude, that's not a compliment, man." But no, yeah. So I was out camping again, and I feel like I got it pretty well dialed in. And yeah, so I've been doing it for a while. So anyway, yeah.
Where did you
adventure
go this
Yeah.
time?
So this time I went to a place in Nevada. So it's BLM land in Nevada, about 45 minutes northeast of Reno, the biggest little city in the country. And I think that's the
You're
motto.
talking about the biggest little whorehouse.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. No. Anyway, so I went camping. It's BLM land, about 45 minutes towards Pyramid Lake, and it's a place called Moon Rocks. And what it's known for is Jeep crawl kind of stuff.
Yeah, Emma, did you Google moon rocks and check
Yes,
these
I absolutely
formations
did.
out?
But Jim, for our listeners in other countries, would you explain what BLM land is, please?
Thank you. So BLM stands for Bureau of Land Management, or I like to say is BLM spells FUN. So this is the people's land. So in America, so they say there's big swaths that are just open to the public. And there's some general rules, but for the most part, anything goes. And it's such vast areas that it's hard to police. So this is an area of BLM land, and I can't remember, it's, 30,000 acres, but that's just the BLM. It does open into other rangeland after that. And it's about 5,000, up at about 5,000 feet, so it's high desert, which is pretty cool. So when you first kind of go into this area, you kind of, you go through Reno, which is I like Reno. It's a funky little spot. It's like Vegas. If you know how to do it, you can have a good time. If you don't know how to do it, it's pretty fucked up.
We had some fun in Reno.
Yeah, totally. So it's outside of Reno, and little by little you get further into nowhere. And as you pull into the BLM land, there are these funky rock formations. Sandstone type rocks, but it's very popular with Jeep crawling. So you see those dudes with all the 4-wheel drive stuff, like, doing whatever it is they do, the Jeep crawl thing. So that's cool. But it's kind of a shit show, I gotta say. Memorial Day weekend, fucking Reno. It's like, oh my goodness. And it was like, I'm not trying to insult anybody. It was like a Trump rally meets Mad Max. It was just like two-stroke exhaust, Trump shit everywhere. It was very America. I'll just say that. So I went past that about 5 miles. So once you go past that, it opens up into BLM land, and I just kind of disappeared back into the to the open range. And where I ended up camping, there was nobody. I mean, I saw very few people. And it opened up just kind of into some rolling mountains in Nevada. And it was just me. It was pretty cool. Like, I just needed a break from civilization. Sometimes that happens, like too much people, too much screen time, too much everything. And I'm like, I just got to bail. So, and the weather was perfect. So out I went.
And the super bloom.
Yeah, so I'm sure, people hear about the super bloom and you're like, oh, super bloom, blah, blah, blah. And, you see it around here. You see it in the hills. You see it off the freeway. And I didn't really go for that in particular, but oh my God. Like, I've seen a lot of flowers in my adventures up in the Sierras, the desert too, but mostly in the Sierras. But nothing like I saw, where I was out there at Moon Rocks.
Yeah, when we get a lot of rain, you get basically these pastures or, fields that just pop up with these.
Well, what's
wildflowers.
fascinating is I've been to this area before, and it's desert. I mean, Craig's been to the desert, and it's dry. Like, there's not much green. There's like some sagebrush and a couple other, but other than that, it's brown and dead. Now, with all the rain we've had, it was the most beautiful color green. Like someone took a paintbrush to the entire desert. And we had cool things, not me. Like afternoon rains would come through. Like, oh shit, here comes a storm. We had like a flash flood warning for a minute. Never materialized, but we did have some rain. But then afterwards, the sun comes out and the desert's just glorious.
So is this wide and flat? Is this a hilly terrain? Is this a single track? Like, what are you riding on?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of all the above. So like I mentioned, when you first come in, there's Jeep crawl stuff. So if you want to do technical stuff, trials type riding, there's as much of that as you want to bite off. At the same time, there's a ton of single track. There's a ton of dual track, right? Jeep tracks. And it's all open rangeland too. So there's cows going here and there. But the variety of the terrain was neat because a lot of it was, an open sand road. But then all of a sudden you'll go through a drainage ditch. And because of all the water, there was a lot of erosion, which a couple of things. A, it made the riding much more interesting because a lot of the trails turned into kind of drainage ditches, but not overly challenging, just interesting. But it kept the people away.
When you say drainage ditch, do you mean like a culvert or a runoff or like a...
Well, what was a Jeep trail that had a bunch of water rush through it and is now just a run it out, like a run it out Jeep trail, right?
Okay.
But what was just, it was kind of ridiculous is there were flowers everywhere. And like dozens and dozens of different types of flowers. And it's one of the things you see in the newspaper. You're like, all right, this is ridiculous. And like on my Instagram, I've got a whole bunch of pictures of stuff. But what I love about it, and when you get into, the BLM land or the natural areas of the country, is you can explore and you can just poke around and you can just go where you want and check stuff out. And the natural beauty is amazing.
So something I love when you go do these trips, you come up with different creative ways to start your fire in the evening. So what did you use?
That's what
this
you
time?
bring up. Oh God. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's always fun to start the fire. Well, you don't want to just like light a match, Like, there it goes. So we've done. Craig, you did the bow and arrow method.
Did the bow and arrow?
Yeah, we did the old the Pocahontas
That's
method.
one of my favorite. I like the bow and arrow method. Yes.
Which all involve a lot of gasoline. So that was where we soaked shit in gas and lit an arrow and launched it and boom. No, this was just it was just handgun time. So
what did you shoot a receptacle of gasoline or
yeah, a
something?
whole bunch of gasoline and it just exploded and turned into a big fireball. But it's like,
You're out in the middle of nowhere by yourself. I mean, that you can do that.
Yeah, well, it's fun. That's what's fun about that is getting out into those open areas of the country. But again, the riding was just unbelievable. You see a lot more of the side by sides. A lot more of the quads, a lot more of that stuff happening. But the beautiful thing about dirt bikes, there's some areas when you get off into these lands, into the canyons and the mountains and stuff, it's really accessible by a dirt bike and a horse. That's really where you can get away from people. And I literally, most days I rode, I saw nobody. I saw nobody at all out there. I saw snakes, I saw hawks,
Right.
I saw rainbows. I danced naked in the rain. I'm like, it's
Nicely done.
Well, it was raining. I'm like, it's raining at like 4 PM. I'm like, how often do you get to stand in the middle of the desert with the sun shining, rain coming down, rainbows popping? Yeah, so I danced around a little bit,
That sounds incredible.
Oh, and then next thing you look up and there's like antelope running through the campsite.
Now, what are you doing in terms of keeping yourself safe? I know you've got your GPS tracker.
Yeah, you're out there riding alone. You have to be careful in case something happens.
Do you take into account, because I know you're a pretty hard rider out there, Jim, but I mean, do you kind of ratchet it back and think like, theoretically, I could bleed out here?
I pretty much ratchet it back almost all the time. Right. Because like I said, I don't see people. It's shocking. Like I'm surprised I don't see anybody, but I don't. And motorcycles are funny like that. They always jump up and kind of bite you when you least expect it. You know, when you're in the difficult riding, you're typically pretty focused and you do okay. It's when you're kind of lackadaisical that things happen. So yeah, I do ratchet it back a little bit. The first thing, like we all do, I wear all the gear. Because at some point you're going to fall over, and it's always going to be when you're not expecting it. And so you wear all the gear. I have the Garmin InReach Mini with me. Try to stay physically fit, all that kind of stuff. Know where you're at. But this time, because I was by myself, I stayed close to my campsite. There was enough cool riding within about 15-mile radius that I could spend all day riding. And then, if something happened with a bike or whatever, I'm not that far away. And I'll be honest, a lot of it is plain luck. You know, it's fucking luck.
Well,
Right.
even as careful as you are, sometimes things don't go as planned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I shit. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I only crashed because you don't want to crash because things happen, right?
Yeah.
When you're up on the bike, things are typically pretty cool. When you're flying off the bike, you just don't know.
Just curious, if the bike got damaged and could not be ridden out, how far do you have to go to get to your truck?
So, where I crashed at? Well,
Or, I mean, just where you're camping, where you are.
yeah.
How far away, how long of a hike to get back to your truck?
This trip, I kept it to about the most was about 15 miles away from
Okay.
my truck. I try to stay within maybe 5 to 7 miles of other people, which is kind of nice. And it was Memorial Day weekend, so there were people around. If I went a certain direction towards, say, where the main road was, I would run into some people. But you try not to get too far away. It also depends on the time of day. As it gets later in the day, you want to stay closer to home. Because when it gets dark in the desert, man, you just don't know where the fuck you are. If you want to be lost, go get in the desert in the middle of the night, and you'd be like, I don't know where I am.
So-
yeah. So you try to do all we talked about it last week. You try to
Right.
do all the things to put the odds in your favor. Stay hydrated.
It's like
stretch,
dealing
eat.
yourself a good hand.
Yeah, make sure you have proper tire pressure. Make sure the bike's sorted out. Eat, hydrate. Make sure you have more gas than you think you're going to need.
Right. Make sure you have more water than you think.
Water
you're
and
gonna
gas. I'm telling you.
So you had a oh shit moment on this.
Oh yeah, so I did. It was I'd been riding. It was great. It was everything from single track to uphills, downhills. Nothing like I didn't do any hardcore hill climbs, but some decent hill climbs. So a great variety of riding. Lovely single track, which basically are cow tracks because cow tracks through the sagebrush and flowers and stuff. But just so therapeutic. So anyway, I do this big loop over the mountain, kind of coming back over to where my campsite is, and I'm at that point. I'm 3/4 of the way over the loop, right? And we know a loop's not a loop until you make it a loop. And I come to a downhill, so I'm dropping down the other side of this mountain, and I know if I go down this downhill, I'm maybe 10 minutes away from my campsite, right? If I have to turn around and go back, I'm probably another hour from my campsite, which I had fuel and all that kind of stuff, but I'm like, I'm ready to kind of get home. I was going to go to Reno and stay the night. And I see this downhill, and I'm like, I can see most of it. It's not terrible, but then there's a little bit of a ledge about halfway down. And I'm like, I think it'll be okay. So I just go for it, right? Because I'm trying to have more confidence in my riding. I'm trying to be just more confident. And yeah, it was a mistake. So I go on this downhill, and I got it, and I started in first gear. So I'm trying to engine brake. I'm trying to think the sequence of events. I think anyone that's had a loose, steep downhill that ate shit kind of knows how it goes. So going downhill, get going too fast, because my idea was I could coast down it. Just let the bike run down this downhill. But next thing you know, you're going fast and you don't know what's halfway down. Like it could fucking drop off and end up in a ditch. Like it could be an 8-foot drop for all you know. So you can't get going too fast. So, but then when you start braking, the rear tire locks up. Next thing you know, you stall the bike. So I got the bike stalled. It's going sideways on me. And I don't want to low side, right? Because you want to keep rolling. You're like, I got this. So then as you start the low side, right, you pop the clutch back out. And what happens? The bike stands up. So as I pop the clutch, I'm like, I'm about to get catapulted. And I look over and it was fucking like a drainage canyon, right? Like it's not a ditch. It's just where the water would run off out of the mountains. And I'm like, I'm going to launch into there. So as I go to high side, I let off the clutch a little bit. And then I said, fuck it. It's just going to be what it's going to be. And off I went. And luckily the ground was soft. There weren't big chunks of, rock in there to land on. And I did a couple of little hippity hops and a big ninja roll and jumped up, and I'm like, thank you. Thank you, universe. I'm not dead.
Now, Craig, I hold you partly responsible for this. Jim told me about this new method of riding he learned from you.
What is this? What is this method?
I don't think it's new. Well, maybe new to some.
Yes, explain this method.
New to shitty riders.
So what I see many dirt bike riders doing that I think is incorrect in my what I believe.
Okay, yes,
what
yes,
I
yes, no,
believe is riding downhill loose chunky things with the clutch out all the time and always using the engine to brake. I feel you have less control than just using the actual brakes and pulling in the clutch in first or second gear and keeping the clutch in basically the entire time. Shifting the weight all the way back, getting your ass all the way back, and using the front and rear brakes, not the engine, to control a steep, loose downhill.
That's an interesting
I would like
method.
to counter this theory. Seems to me, and I'm just throwing out logic here, that if you have the clutch out, you're not giving the bike the opportunity to build up speed when you release the brake.
Well, I think what Craig is saying that you arrest the acceleration with the brakes and just the brakes.
The brakes do a perfectly fine job of not allowing the bike to gain speed.
The problem on a steep downhill loose shit, when you engine brake, the bike will stall. And when the bike stalls is when your brain kind of starts to scramble a little bit. Because that's what happened to me. Because I was trying to engine brake. Because the thing, like Craig said, I think if motorcycles work the best when you commit fully to them. They're amazing machines. And if I were to just pull in the clutch, get my ass back in the seat, keep my eyes up, and just roll down that hill at 30 miles an hour, I'd have coasted out just fine. But you got to commit to that, and it's hard.
And it's not just committing to the bike,
There's a
though,
mental
Jim.
crutch.
It's committing to the terrain ahead of you that you might not know what it is. Now, that method would work just great if you had the opportunity to walk the terrain. But if there's an 8-foot drop halfway down,
Yeah.
that's going to end badly.
And you're exactly, and it's never linear, because that 8-foot drop, it'll be kind of a drop, and it'll angle, and there'll be a chunk of rock sticking up, and then some other thing you didn't fucking know is
And
there.
then
So it's
the next thing you know, your broken body is on the rock.
Well, think of mountain bikes. Think of the concept of mountain
Yeah.
bikes. They have no engine. All a dirt bike becomes when you're going down a loose, rocky downhill is a mountain bike that didn't go on the diet, that ate too much Wendy's that week.
Yeah, there's a lot less weight though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's didn't go on the diet, but the concept
That's
remains the
interesting.
same.
Well, in this case,
Jim did not.
I was trying to,
But
think
no,
of
he was credit to Jim though, because when we were together, he was trying and he was practicing.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot to instill that. I've been doing
Yeah.
that for 35 years. That technique, and it's worked for me.
I understand what you're saying. There are times that I
But if it's new to you, I
Pulling
can
the clutch.
understand going back to the engine braking. I mean, and it works some of the time.
But I think if you're able to utilize the front brake more in the dirt, that's kind
the
of my next
complete
step.
key,
My
because-
next step is using the front brake in the dirt.
And-
That is the key to using that technique, because you will gain speed if you just completely lock up the rear. Even with the rear locked up, you will still gather momentum. But if you get more on the front brake where you ride that edge between almost locking it up but not quite, it'll be controlled.
in your defense,
Be a controlled compound fracture.
in your defense, there are sometimes I can remember having the clutch out and hitting like a bump or a rut and blipping the throttle accidentally, which now launches you forward. So maybe that prevents that from happening.
Definitely.
The other thing too is a lot of times when you get in that tricky terrain, just shit goes sideways. You're like, okay, I got my line. I got my line picked. It's going to be awesome. And like in the first 7 feet, you're nowhere near where you thought you were going to be. You're
So-
like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Jim, when you fell in your mind, were you cat-like reflexes, just ninja?
Yeah,
Down-
well, I
down the
think
hill?
so. You know, my ninja training, because I spend a lot of time in the Buddhist monastery.
And if
so-
somebody were to be watching,
Shaolin.
what how would they describe your moves?
Oh, definitely ninja-like. Luckily, once I realized like it was time to abandon ship, right? you don't want to get caught up in
You
that shit.
committed fully to abandoning ship.
I did. I'm like, yes, I committed fully, and I saw the ditch down there, and I basically just kind of jumped off the bike, and
Like me on the scooter when we were doing the chariot races.
yes,
I saw
very
the
similar.
ditch, just leave the bike and jump in the ditch.
Yeah, and I said, I think I first hit probably a good 12 feet down into the just that way, maybe 15 feet, and it was just I'll just say it was luck. I could have ended up with broken ribs and internal bleeding, but I didn't. I think learn how to crash, learn how to roll, learn how to fall, and do that kind of
Profound
stuff.
words.
That's
but
part of the fun.
there is value in that. Learn how to crash.
Yeah, and keep your karma clean. I tell you what, man, when you go camping and stuff, don't litter. Pick stuff up, like be respectful to Mother Nature, because Mother Nature don't give a fuck. It will like kill you in a heartbeat.
Well, congratulations on your trip. I love that
Anyway,
you go on these trips and that you get so much out of it. Like you being away from people rejuvenates. I don't know what you like. Yeah, you
Well, what I'll say is
It
like
puts your poop in a group.
yeah. Well, it never keeps regular, but in this day and age of like people staring at screens and all that kind of stuff, get out into nature, man, and just sit in a chair. Sit in a chair in the woods. And I know a lot of our listeners live in the woods and
God,
do that
that sounds
anyway.
horrible.
Oh, I'm telling you what, if you sit for a half an hour quiet in the woods, magic happens.
You know me. My happy place is like in a casino in Vegas with all the bing bongs going on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it
people.
is.
That's
this is classic Liza.
Yeah.
The more stimulation, the better.
the more.
Oh, yeah.
the more relaxed I am.
I have tapped out with Liza at 2:30 in the morning in a casino.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
she's just getting warmed up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have so much stimulation. I'm bordering on St. Vitus dance. And Liza's just sitting there like, yeah, I
Keep
love
it
this.
coming. I want a corn dog.
Yep.
Hey, on that note, I got to bounce.
All right.
I got to eat some food and get some rest.
Cheerio, Jim.
Always lovely.
Did you?
All right, later. All right, see you, Bagel.
All right. See you, Jim.
Bye.
So while Jim is walking out the door, it's game time. We're going to play a little game. So last week we played a game where we all drew 3 names out of a bag. They were 3 different bikes. And we had to kill one. We got to ride one for a day, and we got to keep one. So I still got more names in the bag. So I figured let's play these out. But I'm changing the rules, or we're
Yes.
making it more positive.
Okay.
So this time you're going to pull 3 out of there. And Bagel, I pulled 3 for you. This time you're going to keep one for yourself. You're going to give one away to somebody else, and you have to say why, that person. And the last one you're going to sell and give the money to charity.
Oh, to charity.
Yeah. So I've pulled 3 for Bagel. Bagel, I'm going to start with you. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. Your 3 is a Harley Davidson Road King,
Okay.
which is a lot like that Yamaha you just bought.
Blech.
Oh,
Ooh,
this is getting hard. A Britain V1000.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's,
Ooh, suits you,
and
sir.
and a Ducati Scrambler.
Scrambled eggs.
So
Wow.
one you're going to keep, one you're going to give away. Give away to somebody. And one
Yeah.
you're going to sell and give the money to charity. So what are you going to do?
I would sell the Harley for charity.
Yes,
Okay.
because that's a high dollar bike, and I think that's a good
Yeah.
move.
I would keep the Britain for myself.
Of course.
You.
Selfish
Why
little
wouldn't
guy.
I?
Yeah, who you gonna give that scrambled eggs to?
The Ducati Scrambler, I might give that to our friend Steph Yu, because I think she might enjoy that.
Oh, Stephanie,
Possibly.
you. All right.
I don't know if it'd be quite her style, but
Okay.
that's the first person I thought of.
No, I think Stephanie would quite
Okay.
enjoy it as a gift.
Bagel, I'm just going to say, I'm going to remember that
Oh.
you kept my dream bike.
Ah,
Okay.
Okay.
All
You
right.
selfish hound, Bagel, keeping Liza's dream bike, crushing her dreams
I may let
beneath
you
the-
borrow it.
beneath the iron boot, as it were.
All right. So I drew 3 here.
Yes.
And I think this is interesting because I don't think you'll predict what I'm going to say.
Oh, bet I will.
The first one is a Kawasaki KLR 650. Second one is an Indian FTR.
An Indian footer.
And the third one is a Ducati 916.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
I'm gonna predict for you.
yeah.
I think.
Well, if you tell her, that might affect
No,
maybe in
hold
your
on,
head.
hold on. I'm going to put them in order.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
Okay.
am
I
going
think.
to,
I think.
okay, I got it.
I think she's going to sell the 916, keep the FTR, and give a KLR to a friend.
That is exactly right.
Oh, nice.
The
See?
Indian FTR is a beautiful bike.
It is.
I would
It is.
not mind having one of those just to experience it. The KLR 650, I want to share the joy.
Yes, because she loves them. And the 916, I mean,
I can get the most money.
just saw a
for
916
that
for sale
and give them
yesterday.
to charity. So
yeah,
there you go.
and I mean, the thing is with the 916, as lovely as they are, it is not a comfortable bike. And Liza and myself, our bodies are so smashed up now. We can't enjoy these bikes like we used
All
to
right.
when we were young.
What do you got, Emma?
All
see if I
right,
can
let's have a
predict
look.
yours.
Right, here we go. I'm opening number 1. Oh, a Ducati Panigale V4S.
Ooh.
Who put the pain in Panigale? I did.
I think Craig wants that one.
All right. A. Suzuki Water Buffalo.
Oh.
And the final one, a Norton Commando. It is the French version.
That's a triple threat right there.
It is a
That's
triple threat.
That's a tough.
So, I'm going to ditch the Panigale because it's a very, very high dollar bike. I mean, it's like 30 large. And that's a lot of money to charity.
Okay.
So
That's sweet.
Okay. So, God, Commando Water Buffalo. You know, I mean, there's kind of almost two sides of the same coin. If
Don't forget, you have to give one of them away. to somebody.
if you like 70s motoring, as it were, if you like 1970s motorcycling, there really are no finer bikes to exhibit this than a Water Buffalo or a Commando. So, like,
you've owned both.
I've owned many of both.
Right.
I think, and I mean, this is purely arbitrary because I love them both equally. I think I'd give the Buffalo to a friend because
To who?
who would I give one to?
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, go on.
Bagel needs another motorcycle.
No, it'd be wasted on
He needs- he
Bagel.
needs a-
I don't
it'd
have
be-
a two-stroke motorcycle, though.
No, it'd be wasted on Bagel. The man's got no taste
I
whatsoever.
think that the Water Buffalo is weird enough. He would really appreciate that.
I would like,
I think it would.
Yeah, see?
you know who I'd like to give the Water Buffalo to? One of our, not necessarily naming anyone, one of our younger friends.
What?
And I'll tell you why. Riding a two-stroke on the street is something that was so much a part of my youth and such an iconic part of my youth. And we all had so much fun with it, messing around with the power bands and pulling wheelies and stinking up the high street. And that smell and the noise. I'd really want somebody younger to experience that.
Okay.
And I think I'd keep the Commando for myself because I haven't had a Commando in a while. And I do actually like them.
Okay.
You know the difference between a Commando and a Bonneville of the same age? Commandos are essentially hand-built bikes. And they are they're their own thing. And you can go quite a long way on them because they have knicker elastics so they don't vibrate.
All right, Craig, what do you have? Is this going to be a hard decision for you?
No, this is this is easy money.
Okay.
Honda Africa Twin,
Yeah.
Suzuki DR 650,
Yeah, okay.
Gixxer 750.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
I'm selling the Africa Twin.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's your $high bike. And that's going to
$high
give a
bike.
lot of money to a charity.
That'll give some to our favorite charity.
That's right.
I am giving the Suzuki DR 650 to Breaking Away Matt
Oh.
because he needs a dirt
Yeah,
bike.
he does.
He needs a dirt bike.
And they're so agile. I think he's a perfect pilot for it.
Coming off that pig of his BMW, he will be in heaven.
He will be in hog heaven.
And I am keeping a bike that I have wanted for many, many years, which is the GSXR 750. And
Gixxer
I've never
750.
owned one.
Yeah, they're a wild ride.
I think I could fold up on it. Pilates.
I think those are good choices. I'm still pissed at Bagel for not giving me the Britain. Just want to say.
She's crushed.
You should hold it against.
I'd let you borrow
Hold
it.
against.
No, you wouldn't.
Maybe if she's
No,
nice
you
to me.
wouldn't. You wouldn't let her anywhere near it. You wouldn't let me anywhere near it either, because you know it wouldn't come back. We'd just ride into the sunset and never come home.
Right off a cliff.
So
It'd be with Thelma and Louise.
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh, there goes Bagel's Britain. Sayonara, suckers.
So, I listen to a lot of different podcasts of all different types.
Yeah.
Some of the podcasts I like to listen to are some of these true crime ones.
Yes.
You like that? Where they kinda-
Everyone loves a mystery.
Yes. I love a good mystery, and then they tell you like the answer at the end. So I thought we would share some mysteries that involved motorcycles or scooters with everyone. And maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. Now, Emma's is going to be quite long because she is a fantastic storyteller. And
I'm a waffler.
Fantastic story.
I'm a waffler.
I will go first, and then Bagel, and then Emma, so I can do the frantically. All right, cut it off. But guys, I have a nice little mystery here, which is quite interesting. I remember when this came out on the news, and it was like, what? It was this big mystery. Well, this is back in 2012 in British Columbia, Canada. So the west coast of Canada. And there was this guy named Peter who's a beachcomber who would walk the beach and look for interesting things. And he was walking along and he found a container, like a cargo container, a full cargo container on the beach that had washed up, which is weird because usually cargo containers sink, right? But apparently some of them, like this one, are lined with foam insulation, and it made it float. So this he comes across this giant container, and inside, if you would believe this, was a Harley Davidson night train.
Can I do a very, very quick history hole on how big things float?
Okay.
Because it's actually got nothing to do with foam, and it's going to be very, very brief. It's a concept. It's called displacement. And
Yes.
this is how big ships float.
Yes.
Is water weighs a certain amount. So if you want to take a giant super tanker and pull it out of the water, but the hole is left in the water. So you figure out how much that hole would weigh if it was filled with water. And if the super tanker weighs less than that, it'll float. It's as simple as that. And so it works with a container. The container weighs 20 tons, but the hole it makes in the water is 21 tons of water.
The doors had been ripped off, so this was not sealed tight.
Yeah, but it was probably at an angle. Because as the water runs in, it probably ran to the back. Because eventually it'd fill up with water. It'd fill up with water. So my guess is when the water ran in, it kind of tilted. And so it was at an angle so that the open part was facing up.
Well, the other mystery to this was that this Harley Davidson in the container had a Japanese license plate.
Oui. And we're talking about British Columbia.
British Columbia, Canada.
Canadian land.
Japanese, right? And the thing was a bit rusted because, again, the elements in the water had gotten to it, but quite intact. And so it took him a couple weeks to come back. And when he got back, the container was gone. But what he found, half buried in the sand, was the Harley Davidson on its side. And I'm sharing a picture with everybody here, our Bagel. I don't know if you can see that. But it's literally, it's a Harley Davidson, literally half buried. And it's not really intact. The spokes have rusted. The wheel, it looks like it's sustained some damage. It looks like it'd been maybe out to sea for quite a while.
Yes, and there is some aquatic life living on it.
Yeah, some barnacles and such. But this motorcycle was in good enough condition, and because it had that license plate, they were able to trace it and find out where it came from.
Right.
And surprisingly, a year before, it had gone missing from Japan in a tsunami.
Well, that was a very famous tsunami. That was March the 11th, 2011. And if you remember rightly, the footage from Santa Cruz Harbor, the wave coming into Santa Cruz Harbor was shown all over the world because this giant, 7-foot wave came in and damaged all the boats.
Was that
2011?
Oh, 2011 when
March,
30.
It was March 11th, 2011.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff from Japan had been washing up on the shore. We were talking about this out in the garage. I think this was the same thing. There were also shoes with feet in them washing up on the shore.
Someone was talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
how
yeah,
the
yeah.
ocean. Oh, Scotty, I think
Yeah,
was
yeah, we
talking
were
about
talking
how
about
the
that.
ocean currents, and they did some studies. I kind of caught a little bit of that conversation.
Well, there were two kinds of shoes. There were new shoes,
and shoes with feet in them.
and then shoes with feet in them. And shoes with feet in them had been trodden on. And, if a body goes into the water, because, I mean, thousands of people were killed in the tsunami.
15,000 people.
15,000. And, of course, they all got swept away. And then you're sort of in the sea, and your body naturally breaks down in seawater because, or you get eaten by marine life. But what's going to happen is, let's say a fish starts chomping at your body, chomp, 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 and it gets to the shoe, and it's like, oh no, I don't like the taste of this, because it's primarily cotton and rubber. So they stop, so you end up with shoes with feet in them.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's
Wow.
it's really wild.
The Japanese government estimated that about 20 million tons of refuse and personal property were pulled out to sea.
Right.
Wow,
Yes.
that's hard to fathom.
Now, it's not like a straight shot. There are many different currents that pick this stuff up and carry it and all the way. And it took a year for it to get to Canada. So, well, here's where it gets interesting. Because they were able to trace it, they actually contacted Harley Davidson. And Harley Davidson traced the owner, and I'm not going to try Mr. Yokoyama, I'll say. And because of its condition, the Harley Davidson offered to give him a brand new bike.
Wow.
Yeah. They said that it was like 99.9% of it needed to be replaced.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
Well, that's good on Harley for the offer.
And here's something.
But here's his reply, and it's the most Japanese thing ever.
Yes. So he said he respectfully declined, saying that he didn't want to be a tall blade of grass among a shorter lawn.
I love it. That's
so
the most
beautiful?
Japanese thing
Wow.
ever.
He didn't feel right accepting it. So many things had been lost. He'd lost
He'd lost his family and his home
and possessions, and he did not want to be treated any special than anybody else. So he asked that it be placed in a museum as a remembrance of all of the lives lost in this tragedy. And so it is in Milwaukee at the Harley Davidson Museum that you can go see.
That's cool.
and they have done nothing.
And it
to
is still covered in sand and barnacles on display. But what amazing mystery. I remember when that happened. It was like,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, and it's kind of cool. You see like the spokes are broken on the wheel, but they have it like mounted so that it's holding it upright, and everything but the seat and the handlebars are there, which is crazy. So anyway, that is the mystery of the Japanese Harley
Solved.
Davidson. Yeah.
Mystery solved.
What a
right
journey
here.
that went on, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But these currents, these underwater currents are wild. When you look at England, everyone thinks, well, England and New York are about the same latitude, and they're not. I mean, England's way up there in northern Canada on the same latitude. But the only thing that stops England being basically a completely frozen wasteland like Canada is the Gulf Stream, which is a warm water stream. And there have been many, many cases of boats sinking. And we're not talking about giant ships. We're talking about pleasure boats, like 40-foot pleasure boats, sinking, in Central and Southern America, and ending up in England, kind of floating along the seabed underwater, being pushed along. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, just getting tumbled
That is cool.
along. I can't believe that this bike went on that much of a journey and was still as intact as it was.
Well, it's testament to how much metal is in a Harley Davidson.
Yeah. Well, Bagel, do you have a mystery to share with us?
I have a little bit of a mystery
Okay.
that came with my first bike, the 1965 Heinkel.
Oh, okay.
Achtung!
Yeah, so I had found this bike literally in a shed on a farm. Had no paperwork, no history on it, nothing. And
Just curious, what were you doing in that shed on that farm?
I was looking around for cool stuff to find because my parents had bought it recently, and I was
Oh.
curious to see what was there, and
Oh,
looking for like old
Your,
license plates and beer signs and stuff. And
your parents
you know.
bought a farm
No, the parents bought a shed.
with a shed that had. So this is the birth of Bagel the scooter.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
Wow.
I
And what-
found the
what-
Heikel in the shed under a pile of old tires.
I just realized I said scooter.
And what Bagel didn't share is the curator of the shed was a gentleman called Frederick. So Bagel was to say, Fred, what's in that shed? Sorry.
Shed.
I mean, you're on
So-
probation.
Sorry. I'm on double secret probation.
Emma's the mystery herself.
Oh God,
Yeah,
yes.
so eventually I brought the bike home, got it running after several years, and started riding it around, and was kind of my transportation while I was at college. And but it always had a problem with the transmission, where whenever I shifted into second, at least a lot of the time, it would something would get jammed. It would never go in smoothly, or almost never. I mean,
Well-
sometimes I'd get lucky and it would go in, but like 80% of the time it would get jammed, and I have to like wiggle the shifter to try and get it to go in. Sometimes it would go in easier. Other times it would just would not go in, and I would lose all my momentum and have to go back into first and try shifted to second again. And it was a real pain in the ass.
Now, one would assume that this is a transmission problem. But I wait, I don't know a scooter. Wait, does this have a transmission like a motorcycle?
Yes, the
Okay,
Heinkels
this
have a
one does.
4-speed manual
Okay, okay.
transmission.
Yeah, the Heinkel.
So yeah, so it's got shafts and gears, in there and everything, just like a motorcycle would. But to get in there and then try and figure out what's going on requires splitting the cases. So
Yes.
that was a really big step that I just didn't want to go that far, while it was running and rideable otherwise. So I never dug into it. Eventually, though, I did grenade the piston, and it was the engine was dead, so it needed to be torn apart anyway.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Emma, do you know what the solution was with this?
Oh yes.
Okay, you do. All right.
Oh yes.
But
You wait until you find out.
Craig doesn't. I'm
When
wondering.
you find out what it is, it will go against everything you thought you know about German people.
I'm curious. Given all the clues, if there's any more clues, if Craig can guess.
He never will. But it's a blow. I feel it is a blow to German people.
Yes.
Ooh.
It is very counter to the normal sense of precision and
Alles correct.
fastidiousness.
Can I
that
ask
one
you
would
a
expect.
question?
Yes.
Had this scooter, so you just found it in a shed, so you didn't know its history.
Yep.
You didn't know if it had been run low on oil. You didn't
Yep.
know, was it high mileage?
Well, it only had 3,600 miles on it, but
Okay,
the
so
piston
no
was
mileage.
stuck.
Okay.
So it had seen some sort of abuse.
Okay.
But didn't know how bad.
Right.
Spark plug was out of it, carburetor was missing.
Craig, do you
tank was
know
rusted.
do you know enough about how a transmission works to take a guess at what it might be?
Was there a rat in there?
Ooh, good
There was not a
guess.
rat in there. Not in the transmission. There were mice that lived in the gas tank though. at some point.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
I'll take a guess here because
Yeah.
I had a problem like this on my BMW R11 1100. Well, it was an 1150 RT. It was an 1100 with an 1150 in it, and I was having problems with it shifting sometimes.
Right.
And I couldn't figure out why. It just wouldn't go into gear. And I later found out it was the screw came out of the side of the bodywork and it had shifted down like a quarter of an inch. And there was only a small hole that the shifter came through and it was running into the fairing.
Encroaching.
And so I just didn't have that clearance to pop it
Well-
all the way up. It was crazy.
I should point out from my experience at the shop, and actually if you read my latest review on the Googler for Mototown, it will be borne out. 90% of transmission problems are linkage or external related. 90% of them. However,
Yeah.
this one ain't that. Carry on, Bagel.
All right. So it doesn't have anything to do with the clearance on the
the clearance,
shifter.
Clarence?
Yes.
Right.
No.
Yeah, there's no clearance issues, no
Clearance
not a problem
issues.
with the cables or anything.
No.
But I had an inclination. A tip was given to me by a wise old German member of the Heinkel Club, who had mentioned that there's a little circlip that goes on the end of the shaft inside the transmission that slides back and forth when you're shifting gears. And if one of those circlips is missing, that shaft can slide out of the hole in the case where it normally fits into, and then have trouble getting back in.
It's always the 10-cent part, isn't it? It's the 10-cent part.
And that's what he suspected it was. But like I said, I wasn't up for pulling apart the cases to dig in there and find out. However, once the engine died, then and it needed to be fully rebuilt anyway. Sent it out to my friend Mike in Colorado, who tore it apart. And sure enough, that is exactly what he confirmed, that the little circlip was missing off of the shaft. And not only was the shaft not fitting back into where it was supposed to in the case, because it had been banging around that hole it was trying to fit into for so long, it had worn away and just hogged out that hole over the course of 20-some thousand miles, and it literally damaged the case. So he ended up having to have a shop machine it out, and then press a brass ring as an insert in there to fit the shaft back into the correct position again.
So the mystery here is what happened to the circlip.
Yes, and we don't know for sure, but there was no circlip found in the case, so we suspect it was simply missed in the manufacturing.
It was built during Oktoberfest.
Well, no, actually, this bike was built in the spring of '65, but that is when they were winding down the production and shutting down the company. So they were literally just slapping bikes together and sending them out the door, and somebody just missed a clip in.
And you've basically got to get a snapshot of what the company culture was probably in the mid 60s. Yep. Because you're talking about a company that had been going for over 30 years, that had really made a very distinguished name for itself, making very, very high quality aircraft, and then very, very high quality small cars and small motorcycles. And then just, hey, we're closing the company. You had to have some pretty disillusioned people working there.
So you think that's why it had such low mileage, because it was problematic from the factory?
I think that was part of it.
Wow.
I think that something definitely happened in the top end, because like I said, the piston was stuck, and when I pulled it apart, I had to really bang on that piston to get it out. And the rings were shattered. Like they had seen so much heat that they were literally just broken into pieces.
Wow.
So it had seen a lot of heat. I don't know if it had been run low on oil or ran too lean, or who knows what.
Yeah, it may have had an intake leak. But it's a very interesting phenomenon, because if you're around old vehicles, when you get the proverbial barn find, the ideal scenario is Junior bought the bike new, got drafted, moved away, went to college, forgot about the bike was forgotten, and along you come 30 years later and buy it, and that was that. But the reality is, these survivors that you find in barns and sheds and garages with no mileage on, and that's all they are survivors, because the normal life of a bike is it gets bought, it has the crap ridden out of it. When it's new, it gets serviced a lot. When it gets older, the service starts getting deferred. Now you start putting cheap tires on it. Now you start putting cheap parts on it. By about 25,000, it's all over for most bikes. And they're done. So we're dealing with the survivors. And the reality is, if you find a survivor bike sitting in a shed, there's two things you've got to consider. Number one, the work it's going to take to get it back on the road. It's going to have plug carburetors, it's going to need new tires, it's going to need blah, blah, blah. But the second thing, what put it off the road in the first place? And I have done many bikes where I've got them running and got them running really, really well. only to find out why they went off the road in the first place. And the Benelli is the perfect example. I had the most glorious Benelli 500 Quattro. Very low mileage, ticked all the boxes. Beautiful original paint. Lowest mileage Benelli 500 probably in the world. It had 2,000 miles on it. Just glorious. Rebuilt the carburetors, did everything I needed, put tires on it, put brakes in it, rebuilt the suspension, everything. Took it out for a spin, second gear was missing. Just nothing there.
Yeah.
And then second gear was in pieces in the engine sump. You know, so that's why that bike went off the road. Second gear was grenaded. So, you know, every bike tells a story, and sometimes you've got to wake them up for them to tell you the story.
Well, Emma, do you mind if I do a little intro for yours? Because we saved the best for last.
Oh, yes, of course you can.
I'm just going to say Craig. So Emma has a great story, and this one is about the rarest motorcycle in the world.
And probably the most valuable.
Do you have any clue what the rarest motorcycle? We're not talking about a stock Harley. I'm talking the most valuable, rarest motorcycle in the world. And it had a big mystery attached to it. Do you have any idea?
Bruff Superior?
A Bruff Inferior. Funnily enough, when Liza initially approached me with this,
A Whizzer?
I was going to do a lot of things about Lawrence of Arabia, who famously rode a Bruff Superior. But it's none of those things. It's actually an American bike.
No, this is a good one.
So, to begin our story, are we sitting comfortably?
Yes.
Then I shall
Hold on, let me get some hot Coke.
Yes. Then I shall begin. So, our story actually begins in winter 1967.
Okay.
But that's when our story's beginning, but it actually goes back much further than that, as we're going to find out. So, in winter 1967, a couple were living in an older house just on the outskirts of Chicago, and the plumbing packed up, as plumbing often does in Chicago in the middle of winter. And so they called in a plumber. And the plumber did all the usual normal things and just, look, we need to actually start getting into the walls of this building.
That sounds...
So, and this is a very common thing when you have an old house. I mean, Liza, we're sitting in a 100-year-old house right now.
Older than that.
There you go. So basically, the plumber had to cut open a wall. And he found something which he wasn't expecting. A motorcycle stuck inside the wall. Now,
nobody, just
nobody, just a motorcycle. Yeah. And the motorcycle was clearly very, very old, but it was in absolutely remarkable condition. In fact, really, once it had been cleaned, it cleaned up like new. They did a little bit of research on the bike, and they found out it was made in 1917. It's brown and yellow, and it had the word Traub on the gas tank. Now, nobody had ever heard of a Traub.
That's T-R-A-U-B.
T-R-A-U-B. Now, it is one of one. And it's not a special. Now, this is something that's very, very important to mention. You could argue that a custom motorcycle is one of one. You could argue that a chopper is one of one. You could argue my Honda Goldwing Turbo is one of one. This is not a bike like that. This is a very, very normal looking motorcycle from 1917. However, what made it different from anything else was the quality of components was just amazingly good. And some of the engineering techniques that they used on the bike were light years ahead of their time. light years ahead of the time. So it was clearly somebody who knew exactly what they were doing.
And there were no records on a
There were
Traub
no
bike.
records with anything. And we're going to
That's
come to
fascinating.
why. So there's a picture of the bike, Craig. And that's exactly as it looked when it came out of the wall after it's been cleaned.
Can you imagine finding a motorcycle in the wall?
Wow.
So nobody knew anything about this bike. So the owners of the house got in touch with the person they bought the house from many, many years before. And he was very, very old and living in a retirement home at this stage, but was still quite lucid. And the mystery actually got deeper. So it turns out that he did indeed know about the motorcycle, and he thought he hadn't even spoken about this bike since 1916. And what had happened was his son, who was living with him at the time, had stolen it and arrived at the house on this bike. Dad, where'd you get that? Son was, I stole it. And the dad was so incensed and outraged by his son's behavior, he made him sign up for the army. He demanded he sign up for the army. Now, if we go back to what was happening in 1916, it was the First World War. In 1916, America was just entering the war, and there was this huge drive to get American soldiers to fight in Europe alongside Britain. Britain had entered the war in 1914, and it was struggling against very, very strong forces from Germany and their allies. So America entered in 1916. There was this huge push for young men, and this kid, with remarkable foresight, he'd stolen a bike. I'm guessing he didn't want to give it up. So he obviously hid it somewhere so good it wouldn't be found until his return. Well, the truth was, unfortunately, the lifespan of young soldiers in the First World War was tragically short. And of course, he got killed.
Did the dad know it was in the wall?
No, he did not. And hence it remained hidden. So the dad was talking about a subject he hadn't talked about for 61 years. And the last conversation he had was with his son, who said, you get rid of that bike and you get yourself down the recruitment office today. And that was the end of that. So the kid was obviously, I'm going to hide this bike, and then when I get back, when all this is over, I'm going to have a really nice bike to ride. And so hence, that's how it became a survivor.
Wow.
By remaining hidden. And I mean, to his credit, this kid hid it in the walls of the house. Now, I've been in a lot of these Midwestern houses from that period of time, and it's actually remarkably easy to hide things in walls, because if the house is a traditional layout, and in 1967 there was no incentive to fix these things up. These were low value houses, so and they were like a rabbit warren inside, and they were full of like false corridors, and this wall you think backs up to the bathroom wall, but it doesn't. There's a space in between which has just got nothing in it. That's how houses were built back then. So we're going to talk a little bit about the bike itself. It still exists, by the way. It went through various private hands. It was bought by an owner who sold it to Dale Walker's Wheels of Time in 1990. And Dale, and of course he's passed on now, rode it regularly, and apparently it rides very, very well. So this is a completely unrestored bike.
And no other Traubs were made.
No other Traubs were made.
So
we're going to get into who Traub is.
Would you compare it to like a Britain, where somebody built a very high-end machine? Just Britain was able to build 10,
I think so. And
that's interesting.
I'm going to, because it's a mystery and it really has never been solved, we're going to get a little bit into the psychology of the creator.
Okay.
Because people think they know who made it. So I'm going to read from one of the many articles that's been written about it. And so I'm just reading. The identity of the tribe's creator has been frustrating historians for years. While the name of the man who could have been the bike's creator, and the emphasis there is could, has likely been found, it is impossible to say whether it is a definitive answer. So let's talk about Gottlieb Richard Traub. He's American born and bred, but he was of German descent. And we know he was into motorcycles because he actually wrote to the editor of Motorcycle Illustrated, who are the, motorcycle magazine of the day, talking about a bike that he made. And his letter goes, "Dear Sir, find the enclosed picture and specifications of motorcycle made by myself. 55 inches, wheelbase, 3.5 gallons tank, 1 gallon oil, 4 horsepower, blah, 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 blah." Quite a high-spec machine, but nothing like the one that was found. But remember, this is 1907. Now, according to the 1910 census, Gottlieb Richard Traub was living in Chicago, which was not far. His address was actually not far from where the motorcycle was discovered, within the next neighborhood or so. Also, when he was drafted in 1917 for the Army, he stated his occupation as an experimental machinist. So,
like an Alan Milliard.
Right.
Oh. Okay.
Now, hang on.
Have you seen the stuff Alan Milliard makes?
Mm-mm.
He does. He builds his own engine. Like he'll make like a 18 cylinder. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Now we're getting into something which I believe is fake. And there's a picture here of something that says Richard Traub Motorcycle Shop General Repairing, with a lot of bikes outside. And I've looked at this picture, and I genuinely believe it is a fake picture. And I think it's hubris surrounded by the bike. Now, and the article goes on, and it's these two motorcycles are both creations of the same mind, it shows. I don't think that's true. I think they're showing contemporary motorcycles from that period of time. And if you look at a Harley Davidson from 1915, 1916, and an Indian from the same time, and an Excelsior, they all have this certain look because that's what American bikes look for. So, here's what I'm going to speculate what happened to this bike. I think that Traub actually did make it. I think Gottlieb Traub almost certainly was the builder of the bike. And I believe it's something in the vein of a machinist who kind of built this very, very high quality one-off bike.
There's no patent or anything.
Yeah, like Milliard. Like Alan Milliard,
yeah.
that kind of thing, because there's no patents attached to it. But I want you to consider this. If you put all your effort and all your creative juices into a motorcycle. Now, Craig, you love your bikes, right?
That's true.
I love my bikes. Liza loves her bikes. Think how crushing it'd be if you had a bike stolen. Now, I want you to think about how it would be if you built that bike from scratch.
Be 100x plus.
I think, and I'm going to speculate here, I think that might be pretty much a career-ending event.
Oh, really?
Possible, yeah.
Well, just think about what it took to build that in 1916. It was probably years in the making.
Oh, if it's a development, if we extrapolate, because I believe this article dated 1907 is genuine. And I also believe that that Traub is a development of that bike. That's at least 8 years development.
Yeah.
At least.
And think of the expense that he put into that.
Exactly, because we're not talking about wealthy people here. Believe me, a machinist in Chicago in the teens was not a wealthy individual. So I think he put basically all of his life into this bike, and it was stolen. And realizing that your life's work can basically disappear in a second, I think it crushed him. And he either never made a bike again. There is some mystery as to his fate. Some historians say he was killed in the First World War. Other historians said he made it back, but really was never the same again after that. Other historians say he made it back, and he made it through the Great Depression of 1929. The stock market crashed, lost everything, and kind of lost the will to live. So there's a lot of speculation. And everything I'm saying, I mean, the bike exists. The bike is very high quality. You can go onto the interwebs and look at pictures of this bike, and it's absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. And you can look at the quality of the thing just in the pictures. It's an amazing-looking bike. So we know it exists. We know Gottlieb Richard Traub existed. And although there's nothing linking the two, I think is a 99% chance that he built that bike.
Wow.
And I really think it's a kind of Alan Milliard
incredible
kind of
story. Incredible.
Yeah. But this picture that shows Richard Traub motorcycle shop, I think that's a completely fake picture. I think somebody has generated some hubris around this. Because remember, everything we're talking about now is post-1967. So I don't mean the history, I mean our interpretation of the history.
Right.
Because before 1967, nobody knew about the bike, nobody knew or paid any attention to Richard Traub. So everything we're talking about now, including the article, including our interpretation of it, is post-1967. So people have access to all kinds of way of faking documents, of faking pictures, even haphazardly. And I'm looking at this picture of the motorcycle shop, and there's just something. There's something that's not quite right about it.
I don't know. I could see him having a motorcycle shop, and then,
but this,
because it takes somebody who really knows a motorcycle in and out to be able to build a better version, right?
Yes.
So maybe he was a mechanic and a
Let me see.
machinist.
And I'm not saying that, but that picture is not real. And there's something about it which I can't put my finger on.
Oh, I know what it is.
Whether it's the lettering on the billboard.
It's the lines and the bricks don't line up with the roof line. Maybe.
Right.
Something looks a little off.
Something looks a little off.
It could be perspective.
And the brightness of the sign in comparison to the rest of the picture. There's something a little off about that picture. I genuinely believe that particular picture is fake.
Okay.
But again, this is my interpretation, and I'm no expert on it, but it's an incredible story. That bike is considered the most valuable bike in the world. It's an extreme. What do you think, Craig?
I don't think it's real. You can tell by the way. Look how if anyone who's done a drafting class know that building lines don't.
Yeah.
The perspective doesn't line up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that is a fake picture. As far as the patent goes for his motorcycle and the letter to, I think that might be real.
So what's it valued at? The most valuable?
Oh,
bike in the
millions.
world?
Well over $1 million. Hang on, let's see if it gives a value here,
Well,
because
it has to sell to have a value.
yeah, exactly.
That's the
And
But to a collector, it is the most. It's the Holy Grail.
okay, here we go.
It is the Holy Grail.
Where is the Traub now? And I'm going to credit Rumble On for,
Yeah.
which is a Harley thing for this. Soon after the Traub's motorcycle discovery, a Chicago motorcycle dealer named Torello Tacci traded a $700 Suzuki for the Traub and restored it to perfect condition. About 10 years later, Bud Eakins, stuntman for Steve McQueen, was in Chicago filming for the Blues Brothers. So that would have been 79. He purchased the Traub from Tacci and sold it to California collector Richard Morris. Traub changed hands one last time before landing in Dale Walker's collection in the Wheels Through Time Museum, and it's still in the collection today. The 101-year-old Traub still runs perfectly, and Waltzler even takes it out on an occasional joyride. Well, of course, that would be Dale's son now. If Gottlieb Richard Traub was truly the creator of the mystery motorcycle, it is apparent that he put a lot of time and effort into the prototype. It makes you wonder, if the Traub was stolen, why wasn't it reported? There are no records or police records that indicate Traub tried to locate the missing motorcycle, which deepens the mystery. Oh, here we go. Gottlieb Richard Traub died in 1952. So the engineering genius and explanation behind the motorcycle that bore his name possibly died with him. I'm going to kind of stick with my theory that
Yeah, it's a good theory.
that it kind of crushed him.
I like it.
It had crushed me. I mean, I didn't build Rufus, but if somebody was to steal Rufus away from me, it really would. I think it'd be a life-changing event. I really do.
Poor Rufus.
Yeah.
Don't go away.
No, Rufus isn't going anywhere.
You're talking earlier, we deal with loss differently. I see a loss as an opportunity to buy something new.
I guess if you put 10 years of your life into it, you might feel different.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah.
But no, that's my theory, and I think.
And you're sticking to it?
Well, let's circle back to how we started the show with our little chat about death. It took me 44 years to pluck up the courage to talk about Ozzy. Maybe in between 1915 and 1952, Gottlieb Traub could just never pluck up the courage to even consider talking about the loss.
He died a little bit inside when it went away.
Yeah, and I think he put that away. He just put that away inside of him, and it was
Just
so
moved on.
traumatic he couldn't even talk about it. And that would explain why he never reported it to the police. And we don't know what relationship he had with the police anyway. Got to remember, in the teens, the police weren't always kind. So he might not have had the greatest relationship with the police anyway. So there you are.
Well, thank you very much for that mystery. That gives us just enough time to read a couple emails, which is fortunately we have a couple emails. In fact, Emma, there's one next to you I want you to read because it kind of ties in to this Traub, somebody who created their own machine that was so majestic.
So yes, here we go. This one, this is from Auguste Valley.
Hey,
Hello, Auguste.
Hey.
Hey guys, I just saw this on YouTube and thought you would appreciate it. Oh God, I do. All I could think of was Miss Emma's Twingle design. It's a Ducati V2 that's been turned into a V8. It kind of has, but it kind of hasn't. It's absolutely wild. I also had a side topic I'd like to ask you about throttle cable adjustment. How does it actually work? Well, it's the easiest thing in the world. You just adjust it, darling. I have a 1985 Yamaha VMAX. Just finished a carb rebuild, as well as synchronization and other tuning. All that's left is to adjust the throttle cable. It's almost a quarter of a turn before the throttle even opens. I even put OEM cables on it. So I just want to ask before I screw them up. Thank you, Gus from... Oh, it's not August. Oh, it is. It's Gus from Massachusetts. P.S. I just moved out to Western Massachusetts, where I think I remember hearing Zach had moved out to. Yes, Mac is out in Western Mass. I know he hasn't been on the show in a while, and I don't know if he still rides. Yes, he does. But hopefully I'll see him in his SV 650 out
and
here.
he still has it.
Yes, he'll never get rid of that. Throttle cable adjustment.
Nice.
The only thing that's going to catch you out on your... it's very, very straightforward on your VMAX, but you've got a Gen 1 VMAX, you lucky guy, which has got... I think it's got the mechanical V-boost on it.
So is there 2 points of adjustment?
Yeah, there's a bottom point and the top point. And the top point's just a twiddly bit with, you've got a lock nut and the actual adjustment point. You back off the lock nut and do the adjustment point and then zip up. And then you've got the old 2 lock nuts down at the bottom. My advice is just adjust it up at the top, and you want, just a fraction, just a little hair of free play, just so you know. Turn the steering from lock to lock, make sure it's not binding up. Boom, Bob's your uncle. And on your VMAX, because it's got V-boost, take it for a spin, make sure the V-boost is working, because that might, I can't remember if it's, I think on a Gen 1 it's mechanical. So I think you've got to adjust the V-boost. I think.
Okay.
But you'll be all right.
And
I mean, if the bike basically kicks you in the pants and scares the shit out of you at 5,000...
It's working right.
It's working right.
And on the adjustment, the lower one, you want to get it into range, and then the upper one is just the finer adjustment.
Exactly.
Right?
I always say, the big adjustments at the bottom, fine adjustments at the top. So you get basically right at the bottom and just do your real fine stuff. But don't forget that final step. Feel the free play with the bike straight ahead. Turn the bars fully to the left. Does it still have free play? Turn the bars fully to the right. Does it have free play?
So
Tickle the twiddly bit.
So as
Yes.
for in his email, the YouTube video that
Oh, God, that
so
thing.
since we're not showing anyone the video, we have to describe, and I watched it. It's fascinating.
No, it is. It's fascinating. So what the guy is, he's basically got a standard Ducati crank, and then the rod comes up.
So one crank.
Yeah, it's one crank rod, and then he's got like a cantilever arrangement which pivots in the middle.
Ooh, can I help?
Yes.
So there's 4 pistons.
Yes.
With one crank in the middle, and imagine those pistons are kind of like each pair is like a scale where one goes up, the other goes down.
Oh,
right?
expertly done.
Right? So now you have a crank in the middle and 2 pivoting scales that are attached to the crank so that when one set goes up, the other goes down. It's hard to describe.
Wow.
But it's these mechanics so that as
It's a sculpture.
the crank, no, this is a real motorcycle engine he built. So you just have one crank operating 4 pistons that are going up and down in pairs off of that crank.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
as an
Yeah, it's hard to describe.
as an engineering ego trip, it's absolutely
There's
splendid.
a lot of moving
But
pieces.
as a performance upgrade, I think it's only 70 horsepower. So, yeah. But it sounds good. I mean, the video shows him revving it up, and it sounds absolutely splendid. It's like biblical. It sounds like it's going to explode and throw itself out of the living room window, which I like stuff like that.
But yeah, it actually is like a Traub or a Milliard
Alan Milliard, yeah.
that people are making just crazy things. So here I'm trying to show you. There's a graphic that's trying to explain how these 4 pistons are being operated by one crank. It's crazy. It looks like playground equipment.
It is.
That's
It's
a trip.
It's
Yeah.
playground equipment, and it's nowhere near as technically superb as Emma's Thringle
There you go.
or the menorah. I like the idea of having a rod that looks like a menorah with all these pistons on top, but they've all got to fire at exactly the same time.
All right, we got time for one more, and this is somebody who needs our help, and I think we are qualified to give him some advice.
Oh, good-o.
Because of somebody who visits the garage.
Really?
Yes. This one is from Joe. He says, "Hey Joe,
What do
hey,
you
Misfits."
know, Joe?
It's Joe from Chico.
Oh, right, just
And
up the road there.
Joe recently got into motorcycling. Both of his parents had Harleys when he was little, and he often rode on the back. So he just got his first new motorcycle, a brand new Honda Grom.
Oh, great.
Didn't see that one coming, did you? He said, after working around my prosthetic left leg, yes,
Yes.
lowered the left peg and raised the shifter a bit, I got to zooming. Found your podcast and have been filling my ears during work for the past year, and you have taught me a ton, so I'm super thankful to you all. Do you have any stories or experiences with riding with disabilities to share? I just need to bring a 4mm Allen key wherever I go so I can change from riding mode to walking mode. Isn't that interesting?
No, I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Well, I mean,
Liza rides with a disability every day.
Yeah. That's, Emma riding next to me. That's
exactly. That's the biggest difference. Well, no, I mean,
we have our friend Michael who comes to the garage.
Yes.
Who has no left leg. None. He was born that way. None from the hip down, no left leg. And that doesn't stop him from riding at all.
No.
He's had many bikes since we've known him from, I believe he had a Vespa.
He had a Vespa. He's got an Indian, Africa Twin. Not an Africa Twin, the big Rebel 1100.
Yeah, Rebel 1100. And before that, he had Ellie's bike, the 1100.
Yes, the Sabre.
The Sabre 1100.
And the way Mike works it is he's got pneumatic rams, which are button operated on the handlebar. So if you look on the left-hand handlebar, there's two buttons, one above the other, one's up and one's down. And then on the gear shift, he has this crescent-shaped plate with a ram that either pushes the top of the crescent or the bottom of the crescent, thus shifting up or shifting down.
And this is an aftermarket accessory you can add to any
Oh, yeah,
bike.
exactly. And you just boom, boom, boom. It's an air shifter. Most common is in drag racing, where drag racing is a form of racing where men dress up in women's clothes and run down the track. Not that kind of drag racing.
I heard they were banning it in Arkansas.
Yeah, it's banned in Florida. It's already banned in Florida, and they're banning drag racing in Arkansas. How about that? No, but air shifting is very, very common in drag racing because, of course, most drag bikes, you lie prone, and you don't want your feet shifting. And a lot of times you can't shift that quick anyway. So you've just got these buttons on the handlebar, and you pow, and a pneumatic shifter goes whang, and you go whang, and then
so he rides and he can put that.
That's badass.
Pull it off and put it on anything. But he's also discovered Honda. Thank you, Honda, and the DCT.
DCT.
Just like my Africa Twin DCT, they have many models, including the Rebel 1100.
Yep.
As a DCT. What's the other DCT models? The Goldwing?
NC700X.
NC700X.
Yeah, the Moldwing. And, oh, gosh. There's a few of them.
Which means you don't need to use your left foot or your left hand.
And they are very, very clever. It's nothing like... Oh, excuse me. Forgive me yawning. It's nothing like the old slush boxes from back in the day when we were always in the wrong gear.
You know, the one thing, though, I haven't assessed how he deals with the kickstand. I assume that he comes to a stop on the right side, reaches down and...
Well, you are assuming...
I've never seen Michael do the kickstand.
No, I think Michael has... Yeah, that's a good...
That is a good question.
I think Michael's got mechanical, because Michael's got nothing, and I think Joe is missing part. So if he's got something mechanical that attaches to his leg, he can probably just mash down.
Or you can do like Stumpy John does when he can't reach it. He just ties a string to it.
Oh, God.
He can pull the kickstand.
So for those of you who are missing Stumpy John, he will be back.
Yeah.
Next week?
Week. Yes, exactly.
Right.
Well, there you go. What do you think of those mysteries, Craig?
Oh,
have you heard of those before?
That was a good climax leading up to Emma's. Those were all great. All of the mysteries. No, I had heard of none of those.
Yeah, there's more. I think we may have to uncover. I was telling
love
Emma
that
I want to solve a mystery. I thought it'd be fun if we find a mystery that hasn't been solved, and we can share it with our listeners and see if we can collectively
Get
solve
the
it.
sleuths on the case.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, it's funny. When I have a bike arrive at the shop, and I tell a lot of owners this, I say it's like CSI. We know the crime.
Yeah.
And the crime is...
Neglect.
The crime is your bike won't start. So let's have a look at the usual suspects. And we round up the usual suspects, which are carburetors, fuel, whatever. and then we zoom in. We look at the bike's history and we zoom in on what it could be. And it's a lot of times, if you're diagnosing problems with a bike, you're playing a detective. You know the crime, you gather the clues, you come to the conclusion of what caused the crime, you zoom in on it, and that's it.
That's a great thought. I love thinking of you as a detective for Scotland Yard.
Oh, yes.
Before we finish.
Oh, I have a joke for you.
No, hold on.
No, I do.
Craig has a plug.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
We are back, Pacific Motorcycle Training, with our 3rd annual Endless Summer event at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Ooh.
July 11th through the 16th, we will be doing beginner licensing classes, intermediate riding clinics, advanced riding clinics. Come on out, ride some motorcycles with us, take some intermediate, basic, advanced training. The whole week between 2 legendary events, Moto America and Arma Vintage Racing. So we'll be down there the entire week for our event. And in other news, we have moved our entire location on the Monterey Peninsula officially to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca.
That
so
is exciting.
Previously, we just were there 1 week a year. And now we're going to be running frequent classes, licensing classes. So come on out, get licensed, learn how to ride, improve your riding.
So you're taking the beginners on the corkscrew?
They're not quite
This is how
quite
you pass
ready.
your test, bitch.
Yeah, we'll do the test on the corkscrew. To be determined.
Very good. So, as promised, and in the vein of detective, I'm gonna leave with the joke,
Okay.
and it requires Craig.
Oh.
So, Craig, for this joke, you are gonna play Sherlock Holmes, and you're gonna ask me. You're gonna say, Dr. Watson.
Oh, Dr. Watson.
Why did you paint my front door yellow?
Dr. Watson.
Yes. Why did you paint my front door yellow? Ask me that.
Why did you paint my front door yellow?
It's a lemon entry, my dear Holmes.
I'm muting you. You're muted. You're done.
Probation
No.
has been officially instilled.
No. On that note, jeez. Hey, I wanted to ask everyone, besides leaving more reviews, thank you very much. If you received a T-shirt, take a picture, send it to us. I would like to share some of those on our social media pages. And also send us some emails. Ask us your questions.
Yes.
Ask anything.
Oh, you
want.
unmuted me. Thank you, darling. I'm sorry.
It was a short probation.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We can't keep you in jail too long.
But this is the opportunity to tell everyone thank you so much for being with us and listening and sharing, telling people about the show. And big thanks especially to our Patreon subscribers. You're the best.
Yeah, no, you are the best. And you know, if the show isn't to your taste, I mean, it isn't to your taste. I mean, not everyone's going to like the show. We have a lot of fun making it, and I hope that comes through in the actual show we put out, because we really do enjoy ourselves making this. And like I say, the content isn't to everyone's taste, but it is what it is.
And just a reminder, you can go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. You'll find links to everything there,
including a picture of the troll.
I believe there's a link to Craig's school if you want to get more info there.
Yeah, you can get signed up at pacificmotorcycletraining.com.
And also T-shirts. The new T-shirts, I'm only down to larges and extra larges. I've been selling out. So go on there, motorcyclesandmisfits.com, go to shop, and you can find the T-shirts. And big news, I don't know if you know this, because I had a lot of international listeners interested. I made it a flat price shipping fee of $20 to anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, $20 shipping, and I will send that to you.
Fantastic deal.
What a deal.
Yeah, I know. So go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com and check all of that out there. big thanks to Bagel and Craig and Emma, everyone joining me, because I do have fun doing this. I think we're ready to get out of here. Thanks, everybody. This is Liza.
Emma, darling.
Toodaloo.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.
Cool.